Hello to everyone and welcome back to Canadian Stacker. Today is Easter and it's Sunday, and I figured after a nice time with the family I'd come out and do a quick video at a spot that is kind of dear to me. It's where I go fishing and snowmobiling in the wintertime, and the ice is still kind of there, but you can see in the distance that it's kind of going out, signaling a changing of the seasons. I always like it when winter transitions over into spring here where I live in the Ottawa Valley region in Canada. And I figured I'd take this moment just to talk to you about some stuff that's been going on. And mainly it's about the transition of the current paradigm, basically the U.S. World currency status. I know that a lot of other YouTube channels have been talking on it, and I see it myself. One of the ways to tell what's going on is to kind of watch what's been happening in precious metals. And I've been stacking basically since 2000 off and on. I've seen the prices come up and down. I've seen the price explosion when it went up to over $50. Well, almost $50 in the 2008 crisis in the U.S. And a good gauge on how healthy our system is what's going on basically in the world. And I have noticed, over the past little while since, I'd say 2019, the spot price is breaking away from the paper price. And I'm sure that everybody that watches this channel knows that that's happened. And, it's worth just talking about. I was at my dealer's location there for silver a few days ago with my good friend Ron, and we went in to buy. And I like to try to buy my precious metals at as cheap as I can get, just like every single other stacker, right? So, it's kind of important to try to get that. And I managed to keep my mine and my friend's purchase around the 15% over spot mark. We averaged $5 Canadian basically over spot, and spot at the time was about $34. So we did all right. But this is where I'm going to get kind of the bread of things. The U.S. dollar's been on a bit of a tear. Every time they've been hiking interest rates, it's been jacking up the price of the U.S. dollar. The strength of the dollar. And when the Federal Reserve there started suggesting that they might slow down, the dollar kind of bucked a little bit, and it's kind of holding flat. And what's been causing gold in the U.S. Over time to kind of stay stable for a little bit was the hiking pattern of the U.S. So what was happening is the U.S. dollar was strengthening as gold was staying flat, which meant that the U.S. dollar actually was still losing value to gold over that time period. A lot of people probably don't view it that way, but if you look at the curve of the U.S. Federal Reserve note and its strength, you'll see that the U.S. dollar has strengthened greatly over the last year since the hiking cycle began. But gold pretty much remained neutral, and the reason why it remained neutral during that time is because the U.S. dollar was strengthening against gold, but it really actually wasn't, because it was holding against basically gold. So the US dollar strengthening and gold staying even showed that the US dollar was actually losing strength to gold, because as the dollar strengthened, gold did almost nothing. And now we're nearing the end of that tightening cycle. And what's going to wind up happening, I think, is gold and silver are going to rip higher as we pause. Like if they pause, I see gold and silver shooting up, and if they start going the other way, well, I see the U.S. dollar weakening, and what that'll do is it'll drive the price of gold and silver up against the U.S. dollar. So anybody who has this idea that this is just a short-term gain, for gold and silver, no, this is what's going to wind up happening. Sure, we might see a pullback. Gold and silver have been going up for 30 days straight, and every market does not go up vertically. They don't just keep going up forever. Like, we're not all moon boys here. We believe in slow and steady gains, and that's what I think we're going to see over the next probably year or so. We'll see steady gains. But, you know, as these BRICS nations come together against the dollar, I think we're going to see hyperinflation begin. I can't say when it's going to happen. I'm not a psychic. I can't see into the future. But what I can do is read the leaves. You know, like I can pay attention. I can look at the patterns that are developing, and it's not looking good. One of our the staunch allies to the United States of America, Japan, settled out a deal with Russia in yuan. Um, Now, this might not like sound like much, but we've all agreed that we weren't going to buy from Russia anymore. And not only weren't we going to buy from Russia, we were going to set fixed prices. And Japan bought from Russia. Not only did they buy from Russia, they bought in a different currency than what they usually settle in. And not only that, they bought at a price higher than they said that they were going to buy. So this is basically Japan, one of the staunchest allies of the United States, signaling that they might not have the United States' back. Now, that's some scary bit of information there. You can look it up. You can go fact check anything I say, you know, and I suggest that you do. But we need to come to the realization that the Western world is coming to a point where things are going to start getting very real. No one's panicking yet, you know, like all this purchasing and silver buying, this is all being done without panic. You know, like no one's like lining up, you know, down the street like they did in the late 70s and 80s to buy silver. You know, they're not lined up 100 deep trying to trade in their bills yet. You know, that's not happening, but we're getting close, you know, and when the realization comes in and we get a couple of more maybe bank failures, things are going to start getting real. And up here in Canada, we have a false sense of security. In 2008, we did not have any major bank failures. You know, we didn't have what happened in the US happen up here. But, you know, if you actually go and look at our current banking system, some of our banks are not in very good shape. Uh, Toronto Dominion Bank actually is probably one of the worst off right now. They have, I think, somewhere over $3 billion in liability issues right now. And if you go and look into it, you can check, and sure enough, that's going to be there. And I'm not sure if that's the American entity that has that issue, the TD Ameritrade, or if that's TD Canada, you know, Trust in Canada Direct. But I do know that one of the TD banks is having some serious problems. And if you actually look at the stock prices, TD Bank, Bank of Montreal, all the major Canadian banks, they've been slipping in value. You know, and I think it's just in a matter of time. You know, right now the West is waning, and you know, we can't just keep printing money to infinity, right? QE was quantitative easing, which basically was just another word for infinity money printing. And they tried to stop it, and you know, they raised interest rates, and a bank collapsed. I think that bank might have been targeted. It's my personal opinion. I don't have any proof, but it was probably one of the better balanced off banks, and it went under. I think that was targeted because of you know, the fact that the U.S. government's bringing out Fed Now, and they can't have competition against the CBDC, so they're targeting digital assets, and what better way to do it? You know, but you know, it's coming close, you know, and you know, I figured I'd take you know, 10 minutes or so out of my beautiful weekend here. I've got 4 wonderful days to spend with my family, and we just got finished a massive ice storm that went through. I lost my hydro for about 2 days. I managed to, basically because I'm prepped, I managed to keep my lights on, and I managed to, you know, get through that just fine. But my truck's fuel tank was full, and I had multiple cans of gas like ready to go for an emergency. And after the ice storm stopped, went out for a drive, and I went up to my local gas stations that were running on generator, and there were lineups, like unreal lineups, like 15, 20 minutes just to get into the parking lot to try to get yourself 5 gallons of gas. And I went there, and I got onto the premises, and I went up, and you know, they'd already run out of Supreme, and they were rationing the amount of fuel remaining because they wanted to keep enough fuel for everybody to power their generators, but they were concerned that they were not going to get enough fuel to keep the town with fuel. So one of the big things that I also agree with is being prepared, you know, and Had I not been prepared and I didn't have any fuel, I may not have gotten any. And that was just 2 days of the lights being out, you know? And our power grid was hit hard here, you know, like we had trees down everywhere. I went for a drive the other day to Ottawa, and down the roads that I went, you could see trees laying on the power lines still. And this is just one small minor problem. And I come to realize even more then why we should all be prepared as well. And you know, it set my mind at ease knowing that I am prepared to a certain degree. You know, I practice what I preach. You know, like I try to talk to my friends and my family about making sure that you've got something on standby. You know, like a month of food. You know, like a couple of gas cans. You know, put away. You know, you're going to use it anyways, and put it through your lawnmower or your lawn tractor. You know, buy a little bit more and put it in the shed. You know, for that rainy day. And you know, maybe you won't get caught as bad. And it's something I think we should all be doing. Anyways, I hope that you all are having a wonderful Easter. You know, like back at Thursday, we had really heavy clouds and lots of freezing rain. But today, the sun is bright, everything's shining, and it's beautiful. The sun is just amazing today. You know, it's a beautiful time to be out and about. We're currently sitting for the first time in double-digit territory where I live. It's a beautiful, I think, 11 degrees today, and yeah, you know, like it's a good day to, be with friends and family. So I hope you, as I said, are having a wonderful Easter weekend, and I hope that you remain blessed in your life, and I hope that you and your family have all the best things come. So have a wonderful remainder to your weekend. If you're in Canada, enjoy the statutory holiday coming up on Monday. And until the next video, keep stacking and keep preparing and stay focused. But for now, until next time, Canadian Stacker out.